So after making that video of the Executor 3 Xbox chip, I thought I would make this video of this Game Boy mod using the Xeno Gamecube chip. That's a spare one I have in the packet there still. Now, the base machine I'm using here is a PAL Gamecube, and I know that any PAL console probably isn't the best starting place for any multi-region machine, but in this case it's probably the best, seeing as only the PAL machine will output RGB via a SCART socket, whereas the American and Japanese machine will only output RGB if you use the component cable, one of these, but they're just a ridiculous price now, and the SCART cables, whereas they are expensive, they're slightly more reasonable and easier to get a hold of. So it's a PAL machine, it's the purple one, and it's the Xeno Gamecube chip here. It's quite a cool little chip. It's going to make the machine multi-region. You're going to be able to force PAL or NTSC output onto it. It's got two little status LEDs on it, and the interesting thing about this chip is it can be literally soldered straight onto the motherboard. Well, most chips do that, I guess, but this one has little holes in it, and you sort of position you can see the holes here. You position the chip on the motherboard and you just drop the solder straight through the hole, and you just pick up a contact at the edge of the hole, and the holes are in exactly the right place for the solder points underneath. So as long as you take it easy and you have a little bit of soldering experience, it's very simple, straightforward to do. It's only 6 solder points, so that's the chip. But rather than put it straight on the motherboard, I thought I would take advantage of the status LEDs. It's a red and a yellow one. The red one flashes as it boots up, and the yellow one then comes on once it's read the disc and it's happy with it and it's playing it. So what I did was I remotely wired the chip back to the motherboard. This is the chip here. I positioned it at this point on the side of the drive and hardwired it back to the motherboard points. It's just here next to the fan. I think I had to take a little bit of the fan housing out to fit it in, but that's its position there on the console. And then inside the Gamecube case, you can see it here, I put this plastic rod. Now this plastic rod was originally like a little cocktail stirrer, that you would stir drinks with, which is a clear plastic one. I just rubbed a bit of polish on it just to make it nice and clear again, and then I cut it to just the right length, and then I drilled a hole in the side of the case. I haven't even glued that in, I've just pushed it in, so it's like a push fit, but it is, it's in really firm. And then the end of that little perspex rod rests just over the status LEDs on the board, but they're little micro ones and you can barely see them until it's actually doing something. So when you put the case on, the little rod sort of locates itself right next to the chip, and I'll show you that in the next bit. So here I've got a copy of PN3, Japanese copy, obviously in the Japanese box. So put that in the Gamecube. So all that's on the outside is just a little clear spot now because the plastic rod's flush with the front of the case. So when I turn it on, there we go. So that's it on there. Now it's just saying Japanese stuff, so yeah. So I'll just do that again. So for the first few seconds it just flashes red as the chip's sort of booting up, and once it's patched onto the motherboard properly it lights up yellow. So it's just having to think about it. Right, no, it's fine. So yeah, so everything is literally just drop the disc in and the machine will sort it out. If you want to force it to play an NTSC, you can do, and you can do a few other bits and pieces with it. If you have a look on Wikipedia, it'll tell you exactly what else the chip does. But for someone who just wants to play, you know, any game from any region, just by dropping the disc in and just letting it do the rest, it's ideal really. And the chips, what, for £4, if that, it's a no-brainer really. So, enjoy.